The Crusades were a series of religious and military campaigns initiated by the Christian states of Europe, primarily aimed at recapturing Jerusalem and the Holy Land from Muslim control. Spanning from the late 11th century to the late 13th century, these campaigns had profound religious, political, and social impacts across Europe and the Middle East. The Crusades began with a call to arms by Pope Urban II in 1095 at the Council of Clermont. In his impassioned plea, Urban urged the Christians of Western Europe to aid the Byzantine Empire, which was under threat from the Seljuk Turks, and to liberate Jerusalem. This call resonated with both the nobility and the common people, leading to the assembly of a substantial force composed of knights and peasants. This diverse group was motivated by religious fervor, the promise of indulgences, the forgiveness of sins, and in many cases, the lure of economic and territorial gain. The First Crusade was remarkably successful for the Europeans. After a difficult journey and numerous battles against Muslim forces, the Crusaders captured Jerusalem in 1099, establishing several Crusader states including the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Following the initial success, subsequent crusades were launched in response to various political and religious factors. The Second Crusade, 1147 to 1149, initiated in response to the fall of the County of Edessa, one of the earliest Crusader states, to the Muslims. Led by Emperor Conrad III of Germany and King Louis VII of France, this crusade was a failure, failing to recapture Edessa and achieving little else. The Third Crusade, 1189 to 1192, sparked by the capture of Jerusalem by Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria, in 1187. This crusade, led by notable figures such as Richard I of England, Richard the Lionheart, Philip II of France, and Frederick I Barbarossa of the Holy Roman Empire, succeeded in reclaiming some territory but failed to recapture Jerusalem itself. The Fourth Crusade, 1202 to 1204, deviated significantly from its original mission, culminating in the sacking of Constantinople, a Christian city, in 1204. This event widened the rift between the Eastern Orthodox and Roman Catholic churches. The Fifth and later Crusades continued attempts to control the Holy Land, which included the capture of Damietta in Egypt during the Fifth Crusade, 1217 to 1221, and the brief recapture of Jerusalem during the Sixth Crusade, 1228 to 1229, through diplomatic negotiations by Emperor Frederick II. The Crusades had a lasting impact on the Christian and Muslim worlds. In Europe, the Crusades stimulated economic growth, increased the power of the monarchies, and led to the rise of trade and the growth of a money economy. They also exposed Europeans to Islamic culture, science, and technology, which influenced the European Renaissance. In the Middle East, the Crusades left behind a legacy of bitterness and distrust, but also of cultural exchange and influence, particularly in the Crusader states, where European, Muslim, and local Christian traditions intermingled. The legacy of the Crusades remains a topic of significant historical debate, viewed by some as a quest for religious salvation and by others as early examples of colonialism and religious intolerance. For those interested in deeper insights, a wealth of historical research, primary sources, and archaeological findings are available, offering a nuanced view of this complex period in history.